Hello, my name is Ariane Barndido, class of 2023. My group and I will be presenting Healthcare Inequality and Expenses. Healthcare is important because all people have the right to affordable care and treatment. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Esther Enfern, class of 2023. One of the countries who have made the most progress on healthcare is Canada. Canada has publicly funded health systems called Canadian Medicare. This Medicare is administered by all their territories, and healthcare per person costs $4,000 to $7,000 per year, and only $14,000 per family. A country that has made the worst progress on this issue is Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone has the highest kids and maternal death rates since 2019. 22% of their death rates are from children in the last 70 years, and they lost $70,000 per funding because they had to split up their homes. 60,000 homes have been broken and distracted by the economy. Thank you.
Go.
Hello, my name is Kenyatta Causey, class of 2023. Now, how much money is actually going towards healthcare in the US, Canada, and Sierra Leone? The data presented by the type of service, sources of funding, and type of sponsor, U.S. healthcare is spending 9.7% as of 2020, reaching $4.1 trillion or $12,530 per person. As a share of the nation's gross domestic product, health spending accounted for 19.7%. In Canada, Canada has a system of healthcare that is financed through the taxation and public funding. As of 2021, the total per capita expenditure in Canada for healthcare was estimated to be 8,019 Canadian dollars. It is estimated that in Sierra Leone, the low-income countries need to spend a minimum of $86 per person and per year to fund universal primary health care services. In Sierra Leone, this would mean the government would be spending an average of $524 million per year on health. As countries with bad healthcare such as Sierra Leone and the United States, they both still struggle as one of the world's worst healthcare systems. With the U.S. targeting the poor, the Canadian health system, as well as the organizations that help to end these outbreaks, such as the Partner on Health, were able to raise over more than $20 million through funds and donors to put an end to the maternal health crisis.
Hi, I'm Faith Pinckney, class of 2023. This affects our community by highlighting the issues we face financially in New Orleans. Families, majority of which happen to be African Americans with low income and food stamps, pay an annual sum of $22,300 along with 19.1% of interest relying on food stamps, 11.9% interest U.S. health care, and 15.3% of interest living through the southern states of Louisiana.
Hello, my name is Anais Decker, class of 2023. The setbacks as listed before for some people to seek illegal medical practices and antibiotic treatment that is considered against the state laws, and they can potentially face jail time up to 8 years. This only further reinforces that paying insurance is the only way that you can receive proper and legal health care.
Go first. That was a great presentation. Thank you for putting that together. I was just wondering in terms of maybe how to address this issue. Do you think that this would better be, that healthcare would better be provided directly from the government, or if there could be some sort of subsidies of direct payments to citizens in order to pay on their own for healthcare expenses?
Good morning, my name is Esther Enfern, your class of 2023. So I agree with the first statement that our government should take advantage of Canada's health system by administering. I agree with your statement that our government should administer healthcare services to our people, because just like Canada's system, they administered and funded to all of their country and citizens from their 13 territories. So I agree that we should definitely have our government fund us.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, I have a follow-up question. Based on what Laura asked and what you guys said, you agreed like government should provide healthcare service. You guys compared with Canada, it looks good and sounds good. However, when you compare with like North Korea or Cuba, like socialist or communist countries' healthcare provision, like, do you still think it's good or it's better idea than the market mechanism?
Yeah, I do think it's a better idea. You see, we chose Sierra. Sorry, We chose Sierra Leone because of the child and maternal death rates were amongst the highest in the world, and their healthcare services have been plummeted. So Partners in Health had to help them by stepping in and supplying them with 3 hospitals in their own 3 districts. So it would have been better for us to definitely have used a country like North Korea to further compare to Canada's health system, but the death rates are like, really bad.
Okay, thanks.
What made you choose this for your topic?
So we chose this topic because sorry about that. We chose this topic because we think the people do have the right to it. We think that people have the right to affordable healthcare and treatment. We do believe that it affects our own community as well, since there's so many low-income families that can't afford the healthcare, so they end up looking for illegal services. And not only do we think that's risky, but they could end up getting 8 years up to jail time, and they end up losing their homes and having to pay debts of over $22K annually. So we definitely think it's a risky move to not have affordable healthcare.
Thank you. Great answer.
Yes, thank you.
Hi,
We'll
I'm
do that
Laura
now.
Young. I'm a professor at Bentley University.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Moon. I'm a professor at LaSalle University and North Shore Community College.
Hi, I'm Joanne Schneider, and I work for Eastern Bank. I'm a branch manager.
Nice to meet you. I'm Esther Inferior, class of 2023. Joined by me are my group members. Joined by me is Ariane Bernardo, class of 2023.
Hi.
Oh, you guys can all present yourselves.
And what school are you from?
We are from McDowell 35 Senior High School.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What school?
McDonald 35 Senior High School. Oh.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Black Table Talk. My name is Janelle Young, class of 2023.
My name is Brianna Williams, class of 2023.
My name is Molly Rose, class of 2023.
My name is Quintara Watson, class of 2023.
Now that we are introduced, I think we should discuss the topic on the table, which is
Racial wealth gap. Black people in the U.S. are suffering the effects of racial wealth gap due to injustice and discrimination.
An example of that would be Juneteenth.
Speaking of Juneteenth, keep the holiday and give us the money.
Now, let me further what she's trying to say. So, we all know that slavery was abolished in 1864. Right.
You got it.
Slavery was still going on in Texas 2 years after that. Let's see. They was getting paid about $1 an hour for 13 hours a day. Right. 6 days a week. Right. So that's about 13 times 6. What that is, y'all, 78.
Got you.
52 weeks in 1 year. 52 times 78 is 4,000. For 2 years, $8,000. That's about $2 billion for everybody that slaves was missing out on in 1866.
Yep.
Now, the dollar today is $18 due to inflation. We all know that.
Right.
So that was about $36 billion that's in today's money that we're still missing out on.
Right.
Yeah,
That's like $100,000 per slave. If a slave is one of my ancestors, that $100,000 could have did a lot for us.
Could have done a whole lot.
We could have had some land.
Them 40 acres and a mule that we never get. We ain't never get them 40 acres and a
At
mule.
all.
And that's probably why we don't have too many black homeowners, because all the land is given to white people.
Right.
They not even getting credit for doing it. They just getting all the supremacy and capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel as though that is fair to us as black people who really have a strong part in building everything America has owned. From a house to a comb to hair grease to light bulbs. So basically we're being denied our wealth.
Yes.
Basically we're being denied our wealth.
That's
And
the issue.
black people receive low valuations on their house and earn less money compared to white people performing the same work.
Wait, speaking of reparations, aren't we currently being involved in a war between, well, I wouldn't call it a war. I call it an altercation that may become a war between Ukraine and Russia. Now, y'all know we allies with Ukraine.
Yeah.
So if they're involved, we're involved. So when it's time for them to pay them reparations back to Russia, we gonna be dragged in there too. Like
I feel like some things that can be given to help us are like financial literacy courses and classes in high school, because we need to learn about how to manage our money. We was never taught how to really work and manage our own money, so it was
because
always
we were denied that education as well. When they found out slaves could read, it was
doing everything in their power to stop them. We were looked at as property, and that's another way we could look back and see who the reparations are supposed to be getting to. We could go back to the slaves that were in Texas, and then we could see who was registered as property, and that's a way that you could find out who deserved, well, not deserved because we all do, but they won't say we could get money unless they see who really put in the work.
Right.
Because they'll still deny that slavery didn't even happen.
Don't forget about the slave ship. What happened on the slaves?
Oh yeah.
The slave ship.
Millions of people packed up on top, under the boat,
thrown in the water.
They weren't even fed properly.
And they want us to forget.
Throwing babies overboard.
And they don't want us, that's what they don't want us to know, y'all.
That's why they're trying to erase our history.
I need to know what the Black Wall Street is because it's so popular now. Can someone elaborate more? Or
it was a very healthy community full of Black people, very wealthy, had a lot of money. Then unfortunately, white people came and bombed it. Not only did they bomb us, they wiped away doctors, lawyers.
How this affect us today?
Like, it affects us because we could have probably had way more successful Black people, more education.
Keep our money, but put it into currency. Give us our money to hold for later. Since y'all are worrying about us not using it correctly today, make sure we use it correctly tomorrow.
And that's the way they gave them their reparations.
Exactly. So,
and I feel like if they can have theirs, why can't we have ours?
Yes. Us as Black people, period. Remember when the Marshall Plan came out?
Marshall Plan?
The Marshall Plan, the GI Bill.
Oh,
for the veterans. The GI Bill for the veterans. And remember when every veteran who fought in World War II was supposed to get that money?
And Black people didn't get theirs?
And Black people didn't get theirs, and we equally fought this country the same as those white people.
Worked just as hard as them, probably harder.
What could be some solutions for that cause? Like the fact that we're not getting the money that we deserve, how could our money be reimbursed to us? Like as Black people.
For the Black Table Talk, and I hope you guys gain some knowledge from us today.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against me.
Okay, signing
Shall
out.
prosper.
My name is Monday Rose, class of 2023.
Again, Brianna Williams, class of 2023.
Quintaria Watson, class of 2023.
And your host, Janelle Young, class of 2023.
Hi, great presentation. Thank you for putting that together. My name is Laura Young. I'm a professor, an economics professor at Bentley University.
Sure.
So I think you mentioned a little bit about the pay gap in terms of, comparison of same work but differential pay. And so there's been some arguments that if you let the economy be really strong for a long time, like continue expanding, it helps to address that because more marginalized groups will be brought in for greater success in the labor market. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts about that in terms of how it might help address this issue.
Okay, I think you're asking about the wealth gap in general, and to explain it further, we could just say, basically, it's not an opinion, but it's a fact that Black people and white people are paid differently. Well, not even just Black and white people, because it's other races, but there's families like Black families who have the same profession as white people. They still tend to fall behind in like getting paid and where they stand in the wealth gap. If a Black person graduates, gets a degree, and they work in whatever field they graduate to work in, and a white person does the same thing, it's still a gap in between who gets paid what and how they live. because we still tend to not be able to own homes, or it's hard to buy cars and send our children to college and stuff.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Can I add on to what she's saying? Okay, so I would like to add on to what she's saying by not only what I got from what you asked was basically if we just sit back and let the economy build up and just gain all this money, eventually the wealth gap will go away. But I feel as though that's untrue because for 400 years we've been going through the same problems, not only with races but with the difference between men and women working and how men get paid more during doing the same things women could do. Like there are women who possibly are stronger than men. Like it's not only the masculinity of men that just makes them stronger and better than women.
Thank you.
Do you think now, how do you feel about the fact that now they're raising the minimum wage and they are trying to, in companies, are trying to even out that pay gap? Do you think we're making some kind of progress?
I think that is progress but it's kind of a slow progress for a long time coming. But that is a way that we could bring the wealth gap a little closer together, but it's still a gap overall because we can't survive on a $15 per hour minimum wage. Like that's a way to close it, but that's not. It's still not enough to make a living and a quality living at that.
Thank you.
Okay, if we raise minimum wage, let's say double or triple, so per hour, $50 an hour. So in that case, do we need to worry about inflation? How can you handle that?
Yeah, over time, inflation is going to happen.
So inflation is going to happen. In that case, the standard of living for each person is not going to be improved. Any suggestion how to improve each person's standard of living?
Well, I feel as though that's not exactly true because over time, inflation prices increased from throughout 1866 when a dollar was worth was well from 1866 the dollar worth has went up from a dollar to $18 in the past years. Like now, a dollar that was worth however much they was giving the slaves, which was a dollar, they upped the inflation price in 2022 to $18. So now a dollar is worth $18. So over the years, if inflation prices continue to go up, then it'll possibly help us out even more. But that still doesn't make up for the fact that we've been facing these same problems for 400 years.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ontario Watson, class of 2023. So I want to elaborate more on the solutions to close the wealth gap. One solution is reparations to provide funds to invest in Black communities and households. Another is to raise the minimum wage and guaranteeing employment. And also to raise tax on rich, wealthy white people to make the bracket even. And affordable housing. Most of the Black community rent homes and apartments and aren't able to get home loans. Oh, I want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us this opportunity to share our information, what we know, to you guys. And we hope you learn something from our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Araceli Ramirez.
And I'm Johan Beza.
And I'm Brianna Lira. And today we're going to be talking about clean water and sanitation. The main goal of our presentation is to come up with ideas on how we can help improve unclean water in poor areas, as well as how to get more clean water to more people that are in the lower class.
The problem is that a lot of people lack access to, or a lot of people lack access to safely managed water drinking services, and over half of the population lack safely managed sanitation services. This leads to contaminated water and poor sanitation, causing various diseases and causing people to get sick.
The economic impact. Improved water supply, sanitation, and resource management can 1. Boost countries' economic growth and contributes greatly to the poverty eradication. It can also result in about 18.5 billion in economic benefits each year from avoided deaths alone. For every $1 invested in water and sanitation, about $4 economic return from lower health costs, more productivity, and fewer premature deaths. Some of the ways we could promote and raise awareness in our project is by educating people about the benefits and pros of providing clean water, which improve hygiene overall. We could also try working with local health centers and schools in order to improve their hygiene and sanitation status. And we could survey people in order to find out how clean their water is, as well as determine where most of the population lives, in order to decide where to install these filters in. We could also provide water filters, solar disinfection, in order to make water drinking safe. We could also promote low-cost solutions to safer and cleaner water, as well as promote our project on social media by providing links that would go to our project.
Effects of clean water. Some of the effects that could be caused by the clean water will be preventing waterborne illnesses. 3.5 million people die every year as a direct result of waterborne illnesses. When people without access to clean water resort to drinking contaminated water, people attract the diseases and can spread the disease. You can also raise sanitation standards. You can also hydrate body and flush toxins. Our bodies are made up of a lot of water. So if you give them cleaner water, you can have them. You can make them healthier and flush their toxins. You can also boost agriculture and food production. Agriculture and food production are crucial for everybody across the globe. If a small village's crops are irrigated with contaminated water, any bacteria and diseases found in the water can be spread to those who eat the contaminated crops. So we can help improve all of these problems.
Social cultural trends. The correlation between clean water and sanitation and social is that it's a lot more closer than you would think. For example, water and extreme poverty are extremely linked. Providing access to consistent sources of clean water is crucial to poverty reduction. Safe drinking water and sanitation increases percentages of the community's population that is able to attend school and remain gainfully employed. Some of these solutions and steps we have come up with is that after sending out our surveys in order to find out where most of the community with bad water is located, we will send out a team to perform research and to test the water in the community. Then after that, we will decide where to install the water filters. And to start small, we're gonna teach people how to make their own at-home clay filters at an affordable cost. And these are just some of these steps on how they could create a filter at home. We provided an infographic made by National Geographic in around 2018. It says that about 844 million people lack basic water services, while 2.1 billion people lack clean, safe water available to their living premises. In 2015, about 22.3 billion people lacked basic sanitation services, while 4.5 billion lacked a managed sanitation service involving safe treatment and disposal of sewage. Nearly 900 million still practice open defecation. About 159 million people around the world collect their drinking water effectively from surface water sources such as rivers, dams, and lakes. In the world's least developed countries, only about 27% of the population have access to soap and water and hand washing on the premises.
If you would like to learn more about this problem, you can visit this link that we have provided in the problem slide, and it will lead you to all of the information that we have gathered, as well as more information that we were not able to cover. But that will be it for our presentation. I am Johan Beza.
I'm Araceli Ramirez.
And I'm Brianna Vera.
And thank you for watching.
My name is Moon Suhan, but I'll go by Moon. I'm teaching economics at North Shore Community College and LaSalle University. I joined for this program, Global Economic Symposium, like more than 10 years ago. So like, good to see you. I enjoyed you guys' presentation, but you can expect a little bit tough questions. Okay, I enjoyed your presentation and I learned a lot. Thank you. And my question is, what might be the roles of developed countries to poor or underdeveloped countries to improve water quality?
Roles of developed countries for underdeveloped countries?
To improve everyone's economic well-being.
Okay, you get the question.
I think that it's important to for them to let others know oh, we're having a problem here, we need help, and then hopefully by then it'll reach out to people more to come and then work as a community to try to find improvements, and also to I guess find minor ways to get cleaner water and then work your way up from there, have more community and people to work together.
Oh, okay, let me go a little bit deeper, a little bit more specific example. Like North Korea, they are so poor. They do have clean water issues, but sanctions are there. In this case, how can we help them? Is there any suggestion for that? It's a little bit tricky part.
So he's asking, how can we help them?
A way we can help them is provide information on how our communities with better sanitation services, provide them with information on how they can implement it with themselves.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Can you speak a little bit more about the implications for health around the world of having access to clean water and sanitation, and why it's important in terms of health outcomes, in particular in poor nations?
Well, I think it's kind of coming on to this point that water is something that we as humans really need, especially clean water. Not a lot of people know the negative impacts that non-clean water can have on your health. It can easily spread disease or even start new ones. And so I think it's really important in order to decrease the deaths per year to have clean water.
Great, thank you.
Do you think by having other countries as far as for drinking water, do you think how could you approach the government, or how could the people there approach the government to try to get them bottled water? You know what I mean? Sent from the government that every household has bottled water so that they have clean drinking water. Do you think how would you go about having them contact the government? What kind of things could you do, or information you could give to the communities to go to their government and see if they can get help with this?
Well, that's one of the major points in our project. We think it's important to spread awareness because not a lot of people even know that clean water and sanitation is such a big issue. Even in places in the United States have issues with clean water and sanitation, so people don't really think it's that big of an issue as it really is. So we'd start spreading awareness there for people to understand that this is a major issue that's not getting enough attention, and then hopefully there people will want to contribute and make donations and play a part in helping this problem.
We could also gather information on where in the United States we have the most problems, and provide that information to the government and ask them, hey, could we get a little more help with the water over here, just so that we won't have to as too much, but also getting something in return.
Good job.
Great.
Okay, one more question. Like, while you guys did research on this, like, why you picked this topic and what did you learn? And what were the difficulties to prepare this competition?
Well, here at Townview, well, we kind of don't really drink water from the fountain drinks, from the fountain stations, because they're kind of not that great. So we were, and a lot of us really like drinking the water or want water, but we can't drink it. So we were like, hey, maybe we should use this topic. And some of the difficulties we had was finding out how big we should do this, like globally, here only in the United States or in underdeveloped countries. Ultimately, we ended up going with just the United States, but that was kind of one of the big factors in deciding what to do.
Like I had said previously about this not being a very well-known issue, like about how big the problem is, we ourselves didn't even know how big it was, or like how much of a problem it was, because as we were doing research, we found out that there's like a town like right outside of Dallas that has been having trouble with clean water for like years now. And we were surprised to find that out because we just kind of assumed, I guess, that towns around us, because Dallas is such a major city, that clean water was easy access.
You're actually right about that. I live in Easton, Mass, and we have a problem with the drinking water right now, which is hard to believe in this day and age, that towns we live in are having problem with water. So, I mean, that was a great answer, and it's nice that you guys are dealing with that. So that was a great topic to bring up and to research. Good job, guys.
Great job.
Good job.
My name is Justice Masters.
I'm Ruben Amiho Jr.
And I'm Aileen Kara.
We're Group 1, and our topic for the GES project is food insecurity.
So, what exactly is food insecurity, you may ask? So, food insecurity is the disruption of food intake or eating patterns because of the lack of resources. Now, these lack of resources can include poverty, which is the state of having few materials, possessions, or little income, unemployment, and low income, which are a number of factors that can lead to food insecurity.
Now, what exactly is the issue with food insecurity? Well, out of the 329.5 million people living in the USA as of 2020, 42.2 million are affected by food insecurity today. A report we found while conducting our research identified a multitude of food security problems, which include hunger, obesity, malnutrition, low crop yields, inadequate food storage, poor sanitation, and lastly, related political instability. All of these which fall under the issue of food insecurity.
So, what exactly is our overall goal? So, we want to be able to find a way to decrease food insecurity and allow easier access to food around the world. Not just easier access to food in the United States, but in places where food insecurity is bigger. Food insecurity is not the biggest in the United States. There are people struggling with it way more than we are, and so we want to reach around the world.
Okay, so how exactly do we plan on achieving our goal? Our plan consists of 3 main points. Firstly, we know that the U.S., or our community, for example, isn't the only place suffering from food insecurity. Therefore, we plan to establish small groups around the world to campaign and volunteer in food drives to feed those in the community that are needed. Second take is to have those established groups educate themselves and educate others on the effective eating patterns that lead up to food insecurity. Lastly, we need funds to be able to successfully achieve the first 2 points, so we have to fundraise to gain money for resources such as food drives, events, and materials, etc., etc.
So, some of the positive outcomes of ending food insecurity are a decline in malnutrition cases. Now, this is really important because malnutrition is one of the major health problems, with about 690 million people globally suffering from it. Next, we have a reduction of poverty, which creates more stable jobs and higher income rates around the world. Lastly, we have the building of a stable community, which can decrease violence rates and lead to a healthier environment where we can all get along and be together.
This is our presentation on food insecurities. We hope you understand the message we're trying to convey.
Us as Group 1 deeply appreciate this opportunity and your time.
Thank you.
So I'm Marilee Garcia.
My name is Justice Masters.
I'm Aileen Corral.
I'm Ruben Armijo Jr.
So, you guys mentioned obesity as being a problem for food insecurity. How can it be, because obesity means you're getting fat, how can that be a food insecurity issue?
Obesity can be a problem with food insecurity because obesity causes health problems as well as food insecurity. And then some people with food insecurity, some people don't have enough food and some people have too much. And those that have too much, one of their causes is obesity. And so we're trying to get the food insecurity we're trying to get the people that have too much food to the people that don't have enough.
And let me ask you a follow-up question. How do you feel and where do you think education, the role of education should play in helping to address the issue of food insecurity?
Okay, so we mentioned education. The way that we think it's going to be giving is by the groups that we establish around the world to campaign and volunteer throughout like those food drives and things in their communities. We think the education part is important because being educated in food insecurity, it means knowing what it is, and that's really the main way. That's really the main way on for them to understand what it is. So,
where's this education going to happen? And that's my last question.
Probably community centers in their community.
Not in the schools? Okay. I'm good.
Okay, I just got a question from Laura Young, economics faculty, economics professor from Bentley University. Okay, I will read it for you guys. How about what they think the economic consequences of poor door insecurity might be and how this could be improved? How about what you guys think the economic consequences of poor door insecurity might be and how this could be improved?
So your question was basically what are the economy consequences with poor food insecurity? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so when there is poor food insecurity, like we mentioned in our slides, to the economy, it causes a number of problems. So with food insecurity, violence rates go up, a decrease in school attendance, and that's bad for the economy. It hurts the economy. Therefore, by solving food insecurity, because when you're hungry, when you don't have food, you get angry. That's why they say hangry,
Hangry.
Therefore, it causes a number of problems. Therefore, so by solving food insecurity, we can stop those violence rates, the attendance decreasing in schools, and the economy. So we have a better economy and happier people.
Okay, thank you. There was a question from Sarah. I'm sorry, Laura, not Sarah, Laura. Okay, my name is Moon Suhan. I will go by Moon. I am an economics professor, and I'm teaching at North Shore Community College and LaSalle University. My question is, food is very important. Like when you think about the global economy, only I assume United States and Russia can survive without having food trade because of the comparative advantages there. Like in Japan, when they produce food, it's going to be like 10 times more expensive. So they gave up food production and then they start to import from Russia and from United States. When we face the war in Ukraine, do all countries, do we need to prepare food security. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I think we should be prepared for anything because we probably need stuff from Ukraine or from people. We also need stuff from around the world. Like there's shipping we get. Like different states need food from us. We need food from them. Like different ingredients. And we, like I said, we should always be prepared to have, like, be prepared in case anything happens. Yeah.
How you said food from Ukraine and just any products in general, when stuff like natural disasters and war happens in other places, we get a lot of our products from other places. So say if something bad is happening there and we're not prepared for it, then we could be in poverty and we could be just out of luck because we didn't prepare for any and all causes.
Good, good. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and good to see you. Great job for your presentation and Q&A.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.